Recording in progress.
Okay, afternoon, everybody. Good to be back here, second week in a row after having earned a victory down in Texas. What a great team and talented team, well-coached team UTSA is. I've got great admiration for Coach Traylor, the job he's done, and the team that they have. We were very fortunate to win the game, and really happy for our players. It was a victory we needed desperately, just for confidence to beat a good football team like that. Give our team some confidence, and obviously be sitting here 2-1 rather than 1-2, and that's what we were facing last week had we not been able to get the victory. So really happy to come back and be able to prepare for this game, this big game against a great opponent this week after having won on Friday night. So as we prepare for Syracuse, what a great job Dino has done. I've known Dino a long time. A tremendous offensive mind. They're a scoring machine everywhere he's been. They've been able to score points, and they go 100 miles an hour. They run a lot of plays. They're one of the top scoring offenses in the country, and then on the other side, they're one of the top scoring defenses in the country. They're in the, I think, 5th in scoring offense and 4th in scoring defense, or something like that, or maybe vice versa. That's remarkable. Which really, if you look at a stat, that's what matters. Are you scoring more, and are you stopping your opponents? And Rocky Long, who's the defensive coordinator, what respect people have for him in this profession. He's just one of the great defensive coaches in our profession. Has them right now where they're giving up 9 points a game. One of the top red zone defenses in the country, maybe number one. 4 takeaways, I believe. 2 defensive touchdowns. I was reading the stats. It's incredible. And we faced Coach Long and his team when he was at San Diego State, and we played that bowl game, and just, I mean, what a great defense. And we did all we could to just hang on to the ball, keep it away from Rashad Penny, and try to survive against all the different things, the movements and the blitzes and the things that he does on defense. He does a great job, and he's got the guys at Syracuse playing really hard, playing really well. And so we've got a tremendous challenge ahead of us. We know that they're going to be extremely athletic and big, and obviously very well coached. So they're one of the unbeaten teams left, and as you look at their offense separately from their team, they're one of the great offenses in the country. You look at their defense in terms of their success as a defense, apart from what their team is doing, they're one of the best defenses in the country. So really a lot of challenges this week, and we're going to have to put some great work in this afternoon, tomorrow, and as we go through the week before we make the trip to Syracuse.
Go ahead, Rich. Hey, Coach. Rich DeMarco, Army Radio. First off, congratulations on the win Friday night at UTSA. When you look at Syracuse, and I know going into UTSA, there was talk of, hey, this is a great offense that can score, and they were up and down this year, and a good defense. How would you compare the challenge on the road at Syracuse, in a dome, in that kind of environment, to what you just came off of?
Well, I've never been to Syracuse. This will be a first trip for me, but I'm told that it's really loud. They've got a very passionate fan base, and that it gets noisy in there enough so that it's very difficult to communicate at times. And so, Saturday, I thought UTSA, they had a great fan base. They have a great fan base. They had a really nice crowd. And so there's a challenge when you play indoors, that there's no place for that sound to go but right in your ears. And it's bouncing off of every surface in there. And it'll be a challenge. I think, maybe having had the opportunity for our guys to catch the ball against the ceiling on punts and kickoffs, hopefully that, and I thought those guys did a good job. I thought Cam Jones did a particularly good job on the punt returns. But being able to catch that ball coming off the ceiling, it's going to be a different lighting system, probably just a lot of things to get used to. So hopefully we'll be able to do that in pregame. Our normal routine is to practice here and then travel to the hotel and get some rest. So it'll be it'll be just that pregame an opportunity to prepare. But they've had so much success there. They win at home. They've in their pregame notes they put out just the success that they've had in the month of September in the last few years, the success that they've had at home. It's going to be a difficult game for us to win if we don't go in there and play really, really well and be on top of our game. So we know that. Our kids know that. And so we're gonna do our best in the outdoors this week on Howes Field and Goldstein Field to prepare for what we're going to see there on Saturday.
In the regular season, we're already at the quarter point of the year. What are you most proud of your team so far through 3 games?
I'm really proud of the way they played on Friday night. I thought that was just an outstanding performance in terms of our effort. There's plenty of mistakes we made. There's things that we've got to correct and have already started to do that. Had Sunday night practice and we'll have a lot of opportunities today and tomorrow to be on the field and get those things corrected. But I thought our guys played really hard and tried to play a physical football game, which we have to do in order to win here. And so I'm proud that a week 1 disappointment didn't spoil our spirit for wanting to get better and trying to improve as a team. And we've got to continue that. We've got to continue to try to improve, be humble about who we are and knowing what we have to do to win and not start to think that, we've got it all figured out and that we're playing perfect. We're not. So our guys will work hard, and our coaches will do a good job of kind of putting them into the drills and into the plays today and through the week that are going to give us the best chance.
Thanks, Coach. Thank you.
Go ahead, Ken.
Jeff, Ken McMillan with the Times-Herald Record. Congratulations on the win. I don't think you could have had a much better game as far as your goals. 0 penalties, 0 turnovers, 0 sacks allowed, 6 for 6 on 4th down. Just, what does that mean to you and this football team?
Being able to accomplish those things that go into our philosophy for winning, it's why we stress those areas. To perform well in those areas often leads to victory. So I think it's just it's a byproduct of how we practice, the things and the situations that we really intently prepare for, the fundamentals that go along with the belief in being a team that prides itself on having very few negative yardage plays. We try to avoid those to try to eliminate big plays, which we didn't do a great job of that Saturday. They hit some big plays against us. But being fundamentally sound, being good blockers, being good tacklers, taking care of the ball, those things matter. They matter. The fundamentals and the toughness with which we play, the execution of individual assignments so that they all fit together. Those things really matter. It's far more important, I think, to do those things well than to have the best play called. And certainly we want to make good play calls, but we want to be able to execute the things that we do call. And so I'm proud of our team. I was particularly proud of obviously not turning the ball over. We did have the ball on the ground one time, which that's one too many. But we took care of the ball. We got a turnover away from them, which was a big play in the game in their first drive after 2 plays, and we're able to turn it into a touchdown and extend the lead. So there are some things that I think we look to that plan and feel like this is why we won the game. This is the reason we were able to execute in these areas and play with good fundamentals when these things when it really mattered. When we were down there on the goal line, 4th and 3, it wasn't just going to be an automatic. We were going to fall into the end zone. Guys had to block and sustain blocks and use good pad level and good fundamentals, and that's what got us into the end zone. And when we needed to get a stop at the very end of the game, it was going to be great fundamentals and guys being positioned where they were supposed to be and remembering their assignments. And so those things matter. We continue to stress those to our team.
How concerned are you about the large chunks being given up in the secondary? And you only had 1 sack, which was at a great time, but were you satisfied with the pressure you got on the quarterback?
We certainly want to put a little more pressure on the quarterback and force him to throw it sooner than he wants to throw the ball away even, to make him hurry his throw. Sacks are big plays. That's a big play for the defense. When you can tackle a team for a loss, it significantly cuts down their chances of getting a first down. The percentage of them having to punt or you gaining possession back on that series of plays it goes way up. So negative yardage plays are big. Certainly, as you said, that sack came at a very important time. But I am concerned about the big plays, and I'm concerned about certainly the Hail Mary play. We were poorly positioned and didn't play it very well. The throw over our head in the second half that cut the lead down to I guess it was at 2 points. They hit a 2-point conversion after that. I think that was the touchdown that got them so close. I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about the screen pass they throw out there, and we can't get him knocked down. We got 4 players for 4. 3 of our guys got blocked. 1 guy's a free hitter to the ball, and he didn't make the tackle, and the guy house called it. So I'm concerned about those plays. We've got to eliminate big plays. Big plays, if a team has more big plays than their opponent, their chances of winning go way up. So it's one of those statistics, and it's why it's part of the plan and our philosophy that big plays and negative yardage plays and what they mean to a game.
Jeff, it was announced yesterday you signed your new contract. Why now? How happy are you with this new deal?
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be the coach here and be on America's team. And I've enjoyed my tenure here. And as I've told a lot of people, I'm just getting started. I'm excited to be here. I love this team. I love and believe in this institution and what it means to our country. And I'm grateful that Boo Corrigan and Bob Caslin, who was the superintendent at the time, believed in me enough that they hired me to come here in 2014, and just very grateful that Mike Buddy and General Steve Gillen still believe and still feel like I'm the right person to lead this program. So I consider it an honor and a privilege to be the coach here, as far as the timing, this has been something that's been in discussion for months. It's not. It wasn't just this week that they said, "Hey, by the way, great win. Let's sign a new contract." This is something that's been in conversations for months, and typically that's the case with these and with other coaches and other schools. So it's not like it was a surprise, and we knew it was coming. Just the timing of the announcement comes with when all the I's get dotted and all the T's get crossed, then it's the appropriate time to announce it. But it doesn't affect anything that's going on. I mean, I'm going to be happy if we go have a good practice this afternoon. That's my biggest concern. But I am very pleased that they believe in me enough here that they want to keep me as the coach, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be the coach at any place than I am right here at West Point. It's an incredible school, wonderful young men, and outstanding young men and women to lead and inspire here. And so that's our job every day. And my family loves living here. We're residents here at West Point, and that's pretty incredible to be able to live on the college campus where you work and your kids go to school there. And I mean, it's just an awesome feeling to know that we've got a great future here ahead.
And Jeff, just some quick takes on what Syracuse offense and defense brings and the challenges.
So Syracuse, I'll speak for them offensively first. Just Dino Babers, and he leads that offense. He's been one of the great offensive minds in our country. They've got an outstanding quarterback. I think he rushed for 195 yards the other night. So he was right on the cusp of being 200 rushing, 200 passing in the same game, which is unbelievable, especially in an offense like Dino's that is known for throwing the football. And they do that as well as anybody in the country. But they've got a great run game and a line and backs and talented receivers and tight ends. And, I mean, they are an outstanding offense, scoring tons of points. As I said, running lots and lots of plays. And, that's their way of maximizing the opportunities that they have. They go really fast. We, on the other hand, go really slow. We were able to control the clock the other night, but they control the clock the other way. They run lots and lots of plays. They score really fast. It puts the other team on panic mode, and then they get the ball back, go fast, and go score again. And what Dino has is some very talented players, a great staff, and one of the best defenses in the nation. As I mentioned, Rocky Long, he is one of our coaches, Coach Worley, said today, he's like the under center triple option version of defense. It's different than everybody else. Very few people are doing what he does on defense. The multiple looks, all the twists and blitzes and the coverages that are tied to those. He does an incredible job, and he's got those guys playing really, really hard. Now, they got some talented football players who can really run and are physical. I mean, that's not taking anything away from their kids. The kids are the players got to be the guys that go out there and make the plays. But his scheme is very challenging and difficult to prepare for and to execute against. As I said, we faced a Rocky Long defense in the Armed Forces Bowl in 2017, and I mean, we had to cut down our play calls to just a handful of plays because we frankly didn't know where they were going to line up from one snap to the next, and just try to collect everything. And fortunately, we were able to hold on to the ball and keep it away from a great running back, Rashad Penny, that they had, and we managed to win the football game. But he has given people fits for decades. And you ask any coach that's faced a Rocky Long defense, they'll kind of be scratching their head and they'll be like, oh my gosh. I mean, it'd be the same reaction from everybody. And so it's going to take a great deal of preparation and an effort by our staff to give our guys a plan that they can execute, and then a real effort by our players to learn and understand what they're lining up against and how to block it and how to protect the passer, and so we got some real challenges here this week preparing for this football team.
Connor, let's do a few on Zoom.
We'll start with Joe Iacono.
Hey, Coach Monken, Joe Iacono, GoBlackKnights.com. Congrats on the win Friday night. Coming off a big win like that, team's obviously really excited, I'm sure. Pretty hyped up, pretty high in practice. And now, as you've been talking about for the last 20 minutes, here comes Syracuse in the Dome. Another phenomenal opponent that obviously the Army team's going to have to execute at an extremely high level in order to be able to have a chance to win. How do you kind of overcome the challenge of minimizing the stakes and really trying to execute your game plan and the game plans of Coach Thatcher and Coach Woody at such a high level 2 weeks in a row?
Well, I think what Friday night did was just qualify for us the fact that if we play well fundamentally, we will have a chance to win some one-on-one battles. And if enough guys are doing that on the same play, then the play can be a success. the great thing about coaching our players is that they do believe in the fundamentals, and they do try to execute the fundamentals, though we don't do it perfectly, and sometimes we do it very poorly. It's not that they don't believe or try to play good, fundamentally sound football. And I think we probably spend more time as a staff coaching small details and the little fundamentals. We probably spend more time doing that than most staffs do. But it's no knock on our players. We've got some talented players on our team, but when you play Syracuse, you play UTSA, when you play Louisiana Monroe, when you play Boston College, Troy, LSU, go right down through the schedule. There's talented players and outstanding coaches out there that put those guys in position. And so if we don't play really, really well fundamentally, then we're going to get embarrassed. That's as simply put as I can make it. And so our guys have to block and sustain blocks and use great footwork and fundamentals to be able to sustain those blocks. We've got to be able to destroy blocks, get away from blockers, using our hands, using our feet, pad level, the fundamentals that go along with that, tackling. And we missed some tackles on Saturday night that we've got to make those tackles. And if we don't make those tackles this Saturday night, then we're going to have a tough time winning the football game. And that's fundamental football. It's fundamentals for each of those guys individually. So our guys are pretty grounded. I think they know who we are. They understand they're not the Green Bay Packers. We've got to execute our assignments and our fundamentals at a really high level every time we play. And we did that on Friday night better than we did it against Louisiana Monroe. I thought the Delaware State game was an opportunity for us to improve, and we did. And I thought we played better fundamentally and certainly from an assignment standpoint in that game than we did against Louisiana Monroe. But it's a different measure, and you know it's no knock on Delaware State. It's just a different measure. And I thought UTSA to this point in the season was the best team we had faced, and now we face Syracuse, who I think is the best team that we're going to face so far. It's a 3-0 football team coming off a big win at Purdue. They've got one of the top scoring offenses in the country and one of the top scoring defenses in the country. It's unheard of to have both sides of the ball in the top 5. So eight takeaways. I just read my notes. 8 takeaways, not 4. 2 for touchdowns on defense. They're a tremendous football team. So our guys, I know, will have a healthy approach to this game. They certainly respect Syracuse, the players they have, the coaches they have, the success that they've had, and so it's just a great opportunity for our guys, and we're looking forward to having a chance to square off with them, and hopefully we'll play well.
Thanks, Coach. My follow-up question for you. Can you talk a little bit about Bryson Daley's development at quarterback? He seems to be showing constant improvement and growth every game. To kind of use a cliche, the game seems to be slowing down for him a little bit. Can you just talk a little bit to his growth?
He played a really good game on Friday night, and I thought Coach Thatcher did a good job of calling plays that suit him, that fit who he is as a player. Coach Worley's been very patient with him in developing him and bringing him along and not panicking after the first week. That was his first start, and the more that a guy plays, it doesn't matter if it's a quarterback or a kicker or a defensive lineman. The first time they play, there's some natural nervousness and jitters that come along with that. It's different than being a backup, and it's different than playing in high school. And so he's settled down. I thought he did a really good job on Friday night, taking care of the football, taking care of our team. And so hopefully he'll continue to improve. He's going to have to play better. he's going to have to continue to do all the little things that go along with his position better, like everybody else. And there's obviously a couple of throws he'd like to have back, and there's a couple of runs that he'd like to see a little bit better, a little bit clearer. And so there's things that he needs to work on and improve. He knows that. But I'm really, really pleased with his development and where he is now. Obviously, not having started a game, we didn't know what to expect with him. We knew that he had some ability. We believed in him. That's why we recruited him. He's a tough guy, a tough runner. He's got a good arm, those tools. But what they do when they go in the game is a different story. So it was a great game for him on Friday night. I'm really proud of him. We're going to need him to continue to play well and to improve.
Thanks, Coach.
We'll go to Seth.
Coach, congratulations on the win on Friday. It was a great game. In regards to your contract, do you think what do you think the message is to the entire West Point community in general, and also with all that's going on right now in regards to the stadium renovations and the possibility of a conference? Do you think that comes into play at all, and how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know that I've thought about my contract being tied to all those things. I love being a part of this community, and hopefully our contributions to the West Point campus and this community are valued. I've got a great wife, and she's involved in as many things as she can be on campus with the community here and the cadets. I've got 3 daughters that have gone through the middle school and elementary schools here. We've been a big part of those school communities. So we love living here. This is an awesome place to raise kids here. I mean, I don't know that there's a better place in the country to raise your children than on the West Point campus. The influence that these cadets have on all the kids, the young people, the families that live here, it's pretty awesome. And then in terms of the stadium renovation, I mean that's much bigger than me. That's a project for the legacy of this program and this institution. It's something that needs to be done for this school, not just for this program, for this school, for the United States Army, the people we represent. And so to be here and to know that I've got a future here at West Point to help bring that project along, to get people to contribute and want to be a part of that legacy, I appreciate the opportunity to do that and value that part of my job and the leadership that I'm able to provide with those projects and other things away from the field. So I hadn't thought a whole lot about how it affects it. I'm glad to know that, as I said, that we've got an AD and a superintendent that believe in me and believe that I'm the right person to lead this program. And I'm going to do my very best to lead this program with honor and bring distinction to this institution, this academy, because of what we do as a football program, both on and off the field. That's my job, and I think that's my duty to this school. So hopefully, knowing that there's some longevity for me here, that'll help in recruiting. It'll continue to help us recruit, retain, and develop outstanding young men to represent this institution and the United States Army as football players, and that's part of it as well.
My follow-up question.
Ken, you can go ahead.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the contract extension. And I just want to ask you a little bit about the offensive line. You've been moving players around throughout the season since camp with David Hoyt, left tackle, and Brady Small continuing as a freshman at center, Lucas Scott, right guard, and Connor Finucane moving over to right tackle. How is all of that movement working and developing together?
I thought that group played really well the other night. So we've had 2 different starting lineups this year. The opening game, and then the last 2 games. We're not trying to shuffle guys around and have tryouts. Booby started at left tackle in the opening game. We started Buckingham at one tackle and moved him to the other in the second game. David Hoyt, because of some injuries, kind of slid up into that left tackle position, but he had earned the opportunity to do that, to be that guy, and I thought he played really well. So it's not wholesale changes. It's just getting the best available 5 players onto the field at the same time, and that's really our goal. We're healthier than we've ever been at this point in the season in the offensive line. That's a positive. Hopefully that'll continue. But going into this coming week, I mean, I anticipate that the starting lineup will look the same as it did last week. So, it's not a conscious desire to move guys around and have a lot of different starting lineups. But I think we've got some other guys that are in the depth that are good players. Certainly, I think Booby Law is a good player, and he'll continue to play, and we'll find ways for him to play. He may end up being a starter again. Sam Barzak and what he means to that group, the leadership, his toughness. Bo Lombardi, those are 2 seniors that I think are going to play a lot and help our team win. And so there are other guys. Simon Dellinger, who's been injured, he's a senior. I anticipate seeing him kind of come along and contribute. So I don't know that having the same 5 guys every week there is so critical when we feel like we've got some depth and some guys that we believe in. I think it's different when you have a quarterback and you're playing one quarterback, you don't feel like he plays well enough. You play another one, you don't feel like he plays well enough, so you put a third one in there. It's a little more difficult to build some continuity and some rhythm than having a different offensive line. So there's a lot of guys in that front 5 that we believe in, and so we'll probably continue to see a lot of those guys play.
We'll go to John C.
Hey, Coach, John Cameron, Spectrum News. I wanted to ask you, what is it like playing in Michie Stadium, and what kind of home field advantage does it give you?
We love playing in Michie Stadium. I've said many times I'd like to play every game at home. If they'd allow us to schedule it that way, we'd play all 12 at home, and if we played well enough, play a bowl game at home. I love playing in this stadium. It's a beautiful stadium. The history of Michie Stadium, the teams that have played here, the players, the individual players, great players, the coaches. I mean, what a history we've got, and just to be here and to be in this environment, this atmosphere, on this campus, there's something special about West Point, and playing at home should be an advantage. Not that people are going to walk in here and throw up the white flag because we're just going to forfeit. We know that the teams that come in here are going to be fighting to win, just like we fight to win when we go on the road. But there's something about defending your own home turf, and the pride that comes with that, the sense of responsibility that comes with playing at home. That's what's special to me about it. And to have our Corps of Cadets, the entire student body, all the classmates, company mates of our team out there, and they're holding up signs and they're cheering for those guys when they make individual plays, and they got fat heads of their face, they're holding them up in the crowd. That's pretty special. And so I think just for me, the nostalgia and the history of this stadium, and the great teams and coaches and players that have gone before us makes it really special for me personally.
We'll do one more with Joel.
Hey, Coach. You mentioned your respect for Jeff Traylor and what he's done for that program after last week's game. He called your team's performance absolutely perfect. What does it mean to hear high praise from someone within the college football coaching world that you respect as much as you do, Coach Traylor?
I appreciate his comments, and Jeff's going to do that. Jeff's going to be gracious in complimenting other coaches. And that's not just us. He does that for a lot of coaches, and Jeff's a very respected person in our profession. He's a guy that's come up through the ranks. He was a high school coach, and now is one of the most successful college football coaches in the country in the last few years. So he does a tremendous job. He's got great staff. He's done an unbelievable job keeping his team together, where everybody else is losing guys to the transfer portal, and he lost some, but he's got a veteran team. You look at that, they're all the seniors that they've got playing. He's done a remarkable job, and that has a lot to do with him, and the respect that his players have for him, the love that he extends to his players and staff. He's able to keep those guys. They've got a culture there that those kids believe in, and that young men and women who play on sports teams and play in college and these programs, they want to be a part of something special. They want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. That's why they play team sports. And he's done a really good job of building that program and keeping kids there, keeping local kids at home to play for them. And we've had some really good battles. We've squared off 3 times, I think, since Jeff has been the coach there. And all 3 of the games have been really close, hard-fought games, and I think there's a mutual respect. And so I'm not surprised that Jeff would extend praise our way, but that's what he does. He's gracious, he's humble, but it's one of the reasons he's won a lot of games there too. So I don't know that we played a perfect game. He's nice to say so. I certainly found a lot of things in our performance from Friday night that we can do better. But we played a good, tough, hard-fought football game. We beat a really good team, and I'm proud of our team for doing that. So I guess that's all I got to say about that. Did Seth have one more? I hate that he got cut off.
Yeah, Coach, my follow-up question was basically about the Syracuse quarterback. As you said before, he's a great runner. He's a pretty good passer. He's a big guy with a big offensive line. What's your strategy? You probably don't want to share it with us, but what might be your strategy going into the game with that?
We're going to try to keep him from running the ball, and we're going to try to keep him from passing the ball. How's that? We'd hold him to 0 on both of those. We'll probably have a pretty good shot. He's a great player. He's well coached, and it's hard to argue with his production. I mean, he's a talented guy, and it's showing up. He's one of the most productive quarterbacks in the country right now. So it's a great challenge for us, Seth.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Coach.